Have you ever looked into a woman's eyes and thought she was the one? Everything about her seemed perfect. Her charm, her laughter, the way she made you feel like the most important man in the world. But somewhere along the way, things changed. The affection turned into constant mood swings. Sweet words were replaced with guilt tripping, and before you knew it, you were caught in a whirlwind of manipulation, drama, and emotional exhaustion. At first, you blamed yourself. Maybe if you had been more understanding, more patient, or done things differently, she wouldn't have reacted the way she did. But here's the truth. A toxic woman thrives on chaos. No matter how much you give, it will never be enough. And if you fail to recognize the red flags early, she will drain you, mentally, emotionally, and even financially, until there's nothing left. But what if you could see these signs before they destroy your peace, your success, and your identity? What if you could stop yourself from falling into the trap of a toxic relationship before it consumes you? That's exactly why we're here today. This isn't just about dating. It's about self-preservation. It's about protecting your masculinity, your sanity, and your future from the wrong kind of woman. Most men never realize how much damage the wrong partner can do until it's too late. They spend years, sometimes decades, trying to fix what cannot be fixed. But not you. You're different. You're here because you refuse to settle for anything less than a life filled with peace, growth, and strength. Today, we're diving into the 6 unmistakable signs of a woman who will drain your energy, kill your ambition, and leave you questioning who you even are. These aren't just casual red flags. These are warnings that could save you from years of frustration, heartbreak, and regret. And let's be clear, this isn't about hate. This is about survival, about making sure you stay on the right path and don't waste your time, energy, and resources on someone who doesn't deserve them. So if you're ready to reclaim your power, if you're ready to learn what most men never will, drop "I'm ready" in the comments below. Because what you're about to hear might just change the way you see relationships forever. Let's begin. Drama isn't always loud. It doesn't always announce itself with shouting, slam doors, or emotional outbursts. In fact, the most dangerous form of drama is the kind that slowly creeps into your life, disguised as minor complaints, passive-aggressive remarks, and sudden mood shifts that leave you questioning everything you do. At first, you convince yourself that it's just her being emotional or passionate. You tell yourself that women are naturally more expressive and that maybe you just need to be more understanding. But over time, a pattern emerges, one that reveals a much darker truth. This isn't just emotion. This is manipulation. A woman who thrives on drama doesn't just express her feelings. She weaponizes them. She turns every minor issue into an emotional battlefield where you're forced to defend yourself against accusations, guilt-tripping, and irrational blame. One day she's affectionate and warm. The next she's cold and distant, offering no explanation. When you ask what's wrong, she responds with a dismissive "nothing." But you know something is wrong. The silence feels heavy, like an invisible punishment, forcing you to dig for answers. Answers she already knows but refuses to give. And that's exactly what she wants. She wants you to be in a state of confusion, to constantly second-guess yourself, to become so wrapped up in her emotional chaos that you lose sight of your own peace. Because the more she can keep you off balance, the more power she has over you. This isn't love. This is control. The Stoic perspective. Why this is dangerous. The ancient Stoics taught that a man's greatest weapon is his mind. His ability to think clearly, to remain rational, and to not be swayed by external chaos is what separates him from the weak. But what happens when your mind is constantly under attack? When every day is filled with pointless arguments? When every conversation turns into a trap? When every decision you make is scrutinized and twisted until you no longer trust yourself? You start to lose who you are. It doesn't just affect your relationship, it bleeds into every aspect of your life. Your work performance starts slipping because you're mentally drained from last night's argument over why you didn't respond the right way. Your friends start distancing themselves because they're tired of hearing about your relationship problems. Your confidence erodes because you're constantly being made to feel like the bad guy. And the worst part? You don't even realize it's happening until it's too late. Breaking free, how to protect yourself. A woman who thrives on drama isn't interested in finding solutions. She doesn't want peace, she wants chaos. Because chaos keeps you distracted. It keeps you locked into her game, where she controls the rules and you're always playing defense. You cannot win in this game. You cannot love her into stability or fix her with patience. The only way to win is to walk away. Walking away isn't weakness, it's wisdom. A man who values his peace knows when to let go. He understands that his mental clarity, his goals, his ambitions, and his purpose are far more important than playing referee in someone else's emotional circus. And here's what happens when you leave. The world suddenly feels quieter. Your mind feels sharper. Your energy returns because you're no longer wasting it on pointless battles. That's what true strength looks like. Not staying and fighting an unwinnable war, but having the courage to leave before the damage becomes permanent. So ask yourself, are you constantly caught up in unnecessary arguments? Do you feel emotionally drained instead of fulfilled? Does she create problems just to keep your attention? If the answer is yes, you already know what you need to do. Protect your peace, reclaim your power, walk away. 4:31 to 7:20. Sign number 2, she avoids responsibility. A woman who refuses to take responsibility for her actions is a ticking time bomb, one that will explode in your life, leaving you to clean up the mess she created. But the worst part? She'll never admit that it was her fault. Instead, she will always find a way to blame you. At first, this behavior seems innocent. She might laugh off small mistakes, saying things like, "Oops, I forgot our anniversary, but you should have reminded me. I didn't mean to be late. You know how bad my time management is." But over time, these quirky little moments evolve into a full-blown pattern of avoidance, deflection, and victimhood. No matter what happens, you will always be the one at fault, and she will always find an excuse to escape accountability. How she shifts blame. There are 2 common ways toxic women avoid responsibility. Blame shifting. Instead of owning up to her actions, she makes it your problem. "If you had reminded me, I wouldn't have forgotten." "You're overreacting. I only did that because you upset me first." "Maybe if you were a better boyfriend, I wouldn't have acted that way." Playing the victim. When she makes a mistake, she turns herself into the victim so that you feel guilty for even bringing it up. "I was having a bad day and now you're making me feel worse. I grew up in a tough home, so I don't know how to handle things like you do. You always make me feel like I'm not good enough." At first, you'll brush it off. You'll tell yourself, maybe she just had a bad day. But as time goes on, you'll start to question yourself. Did I really overreact? Should I have handled that differently? Maybe I am being too hard on her. And just like that, you're trapped. Instead of focusing on your goals, your happiness, and your self-improvement, you're caught in an endless loop of proving yourself, constantly apologizing, constantly adjusting, constantly walking on eggshells. Why this is dangerous? The Stoic perspective. The Stoics taught that personal responsibility is the foundation of growth. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, believed that true power comes from taking ownership of your own actions, your own mindset, and your own life. But here's the problem. If a woman refuses to take responsibility for herself, she will stunt your growth too. A relationship should be a partnership, built on mutual accountability and growth. But when one person refuses to evolve, the other is forced to carry the entire emotional burden. You'll feel exhausted. You'll feel guilty for things that aren't your fault. You'll feel like no matter what you do, it's never enough. And that's exactly how she wants it. Because as long as you're distracted, as long as you're focused on fixing her problems, you won't have time to realize she is the problem. The hard truth. You can't fix this. Many men make the critical mistake of thinking they can help a woman like this. They believe that if they love her enough, if they support her enough, if they are patient enough, she will finally take responsibility for herself. But she won't. She has spent her entire life avoiding consequences. And the moment you start holding her accountable, she will either turn on you or leave you for someone else who won't challenge her. So what's the solution? Walk away. You deserve a partner who owns her mistakes and works to improve herself. You deserve a relationship where problems are solved, not ignored or shifted onto you. You deserve to be with someone who helps you grow, not someone who stunts your progress. A man who values his peace, growth, and masculinity understands that a woman who refuses to take responsibility is a dead weight, one that will only drag him down. So ask yourself, does she blame you for everything? Does she refuse to admit when she's wrong? Do you feel like you're constantly proving yourself while she takes no accountability? If the answer is yes, you already know what you need to do. Stop making excuses for her. Stop trying to fix her, save yourself, and walk away. At first, it seems like she truly appreciates you, your presence, your attention, the way you make her feel special. She smiles when you surprise her with a thoughtful gift. She tells you she loves the way you listen to her, support her, and treat her differently than other men. But over time, the dynamic shifts. The small gestures you once did out of kindness become obligations. The appreciation you once received is replaced with entitlement. What started as a simple thank you when you took her out for dinner turns into an expectation that you always pay for the most expensive meals. The thoughtful little gifts you bought because you wanted to see her smile now feel like a requirement just to keep the peace. And that's when you realize, this isn't love, it's a transaction. When luxury becomes more important than loyalty. A woman who values materialism over character doesn't care about who you are. She only cares about what you can do for her. She's not impressed by your integrity, your wisdom, or your vision for the future. She's impressed by how much money you're willing to spend on her. If she's not showing off the gifts you buy her on social media, she's unsatisfied. She doesn't want a man, she wants a sponsor. And the more you feed into this dynamic, the more you lose yourself in the process. Many men fall into this trap because they've been conditioned to believe that providing financially is the ultimate proof of love. They think, if I buy her more, she'll appreciate me more. If I upgrade her lifestyle, she'll see my worth. If I keep her happy with material things, she'll stay loyal. Wrong. A woman obsessed with materialism doesn't love you. She loves the lifestyle you provide. The moment your money runs out, so does her affection. The Stoic perspective, where true value lies. The Stoics taught that a man's worth is measured not by what he owns, but by his character, integrity, and wisdom. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic emperors, lived by the principle that external possessions are fleeting, while a strong mind and disciplined character are eternal. Yet many modern men sacrifice their peace, their financial security, and their masculinity for a woman who values labels over loyalty, attention over authenticity, and luxury over love. Think about it. A woman who truly loves you would rather build a future with you than demand you finance her desires. A woman who values character cares about your ambition and mindset, not just your wallet. A woman who is loyal stands by your side in hard times, not just when the money is flowing. But a woman who only values material things, the moment another man offers her a higher standard of living, she won't hesitate to leave. She will never be satisfied no matter how much you give. She will drain you mentally, emotionally, and financially until you have nothing left. Breaking free, how to protect yourself. If you notice that your relationship feels more like an investment than a partnership, walk away. If she only shows love when you're spending money on her, walk away. If she values how you look on social media more than how you treat her in real life, walk away. If her happiness depends on the next vacation, designer bag, or 5-star dinner, walk away. Because here's the truth, you can always rebuild your finances. But the time, energy, and self-worth you waste on a woman who only values your wallet, that's gone forever. A man who understands his worth chooses a woman who values his mind, his growth, and his leadership, not just his ability to buy her things. So ask yourself, is she with you for who you are or for what you can provide? If you lost your money today, would she still love you? Are you her man or just her provider? If you're starting to see the truth, you already know what to do. Protect your peace, your future, and your masculinity. Choose wisely. This is one of the most dangerous traits a woman can have because it's subtle. Unlike drama or materialism, which are easy to recognize over time, emotional manipulation sneaks up on you. It doesn't announce itself loudly. Instead, it creeps in quietly, rewiring your mind until you no longer trust yourself. At first, she seems like the perfect woman, loving, supportive, and affectionate. You feel lucky to have found her, but then, out of nowhere, she shifts. One day she's warm and caring, the next she's cold and distant, giving you no explanation. You ask what's wrong, and she replies with a vague, "Nothing." Forget it. But you know something is wrong. You feel it. And now you're in her trap. You start questioning yourself. Did I say something wrong? Maybe I should have done something differently. Am I being a bad boyfriend? She has you exactly where she wants you, doubting your own reality. Because when you don't know what you did wrong, you'll go out of your way to fix things, even if you never actually did anything wrong in the first place. Classic manipulation tactics. A manipulative woman uses a combination of tactics to keep you under control. These include guilt tripping. She makes you feel like the bad guy for standing your ground. I thought you loved me. How can you do this to me? If you really cared, you'd know what's wrong. You're supposed to protect me, not hurt me. Gaslighting. She makes you doubt your own memories and perceptions. You call her out on something she said, and she denies ever saying it. She tells you that you're overreacting or too sensitive. You start questioning your own sanity, wondering if you're imagining things. Withholding affection. She punishes you by pulling away emotionally. She gives you the silent treatment when she doesn't get her way. She suddenly stops being affectionate, making you feel unloved and unwanted. This forces you to chase after her, apologizing for things you don't even understand. And here's the most dangerous part. It works. Even strong, intelligent men fall into this trap because they believe if they just try harder, love more, or prove themselves, she will stop. But she won't. The Stoic perspective. Why this is a mental prison. The ancient Stoics believed that a man must be free in mind and spirit to truly reach his potential. Your mind is your most powerful asset, but what happens when someone controls it? A manipulative woman doesn't just want love, she wants dominance. She wants you to prioritize her emotions over your own sanity. And the moment you start censoring yourself, questioning your actions, and shrinking who you are just to keep her happy, you are no longer in a relationship. You're in a mental prison. This kind of manipulation is exhausting. Over time, you start to lose your identity. You become afraid to speak your mind because it might upset her. You start walking on eggshells, constantly trying to predict her moods. You put her happiness above your own well-being until you forget what peace even feels like. That's not love. That's slavery. Breaking free, how to protect yourself. You cannot win against a woman like this. You cannot love her into being stable. You cannot fix her with patience and understanding. The only solution is to recognize the manipulation and walk away before you lose yourself completely. Here's what happens when you leave. Your mind feels lighter. No more constant anxiety about upsetting her. Your confidence returns because you no longer feel like everything is your fault. Your life improves because you're no longer a prisoner to someone else's emotions. And here's the ultimate truth. The right woman won't manipulate you. She won't make you question your own sanity. She won't punish you for standing up for yourself. She won't use love as a weapon against you. If you've been caught in this cycle, it's time to break free. Stop making excuses for her behavior. Stop believing that if you just try harder, things will change. They won't. If you feel like you're constantly being controlled, manipulated, or emotionally drained, it's time to protect your peace, reclaim your power, and walk away. Some women don't care about building a meaningful life. They care about building an audience. If you've ever been with a woman who documents every aspect of her life on social media, you've probably noticed it. The vacations must be captured from the perfect angle. The gifts you buy her are not truly for her, but for her followers to admire. Even your private moments, the ones that should be sacred between you two, are turned into performances for the world to see. At first, it seems harmless. You might even feel flattered that she wants to show you off. But soon you start to realize something deeper. She doesn't actually value the moments themselves. She only values them if others are watching. When social media becomes an addiction. For a woman like this, social media isn't just a hobby, it's an addiction. And like any addiction, it consumes everything. She can't put her phone down, even when you're having a meaningful conversation. She constantly checks her likes, comments, and shares, as if they define her worth. She values the opinions of strangers online more than the respect of the man standing beside her. And the most frustrating part? No matter how much you validate her, it will never be enough. You could tell her she's beautiful 1,000 times, but if she doesn't get enough likes on a post, she'll still feel insecure. You could treat her like a queen every single day, but if she doesn't receive social approval, she'll still crave more attention. This isn't about love. This is about external validation. And that's a losing game, because you can never fill a void that was never yours to fill. The Stoic perspective, happiness comes from within. The Stoics taught that happiness is an internal state, not something to be found in external validation. Marcus Aurelius once said, "It is not events that disturb people, but their judgments concerning them." A woman who is obsessed with social validation is constantly judging herself based on what others think. If people admire her online, she feels good. If she doesn't get enough engagement, she feels worthless. But true self-worth isn't built on likes, shares, or followers. It's built on inner confidence, self-respect, and character. And here's the truth. You cannot build a meaningful relationship with someone who is addicted to external approval. Because if she values her online audience more than she values you, you will never be her priority. The harsh reality, you're competing with an audience. No man should ever have to compete with social media for his woman's attention. Yet many men find themselves trapped in relationships where they feel secondary to a screen. They feel frustrated when their private moments are made public. They feel neglected when she prioritizes her phone over real conversation. They feel invisible when she craves attention from online strangers more than the love of the man right in front of her. And the worst part? The more you tolerate it, the worse it gets. If you try to talk to her about it, she'll defend it. You're overreacting, it's just social media. I just like to share my life. It doesn't mean I don't love you. You're just insecure. But the truth is, this isn't just a minor habit. It's a fundamental problem. Because when a woman values attention from the outside world more than she values connection with her partner, the relationship is doomed. Breaking free. How to protect yourself. If you find yourself in a relationship with a woman who is more concerned with appearances than with real connection, it's time to walk away. If she prioritizes social validation over private intimacy, walk away. If she cares more about how your relationship looks online than how it actually feels in real life, walk away. If she is constantly seeking external approval instead of being secure in herself, walk away. Because no matter how much you love her, you will never be able to compete with the entire world. A real high-value woman doesn't need the approval of strangers to feel confident. She doesn't need to broadcast every moment of her life to feel validated. She doesn't measure her worth by likes and comments, but by her own integrity and self-respect. So ask yourself, is she focused on building a meaningful life with you, or is she just building an audience? Does she value your connection, or just the image of your relationship? Can she be happy without external validation, or does she need constant attention from others? If she's obsessed with social validation, the answer is clear. You deserve better. A woman who is secure in herself will value you, not just how you make her look to the world. Choose wisely. A toxic woman doesn't want to evolve. She wants to keep you stagnant with her. At first, you may not notice it. You tell her about your dreams, your goals, the things you want to accomplish, and she smiles, nods, and listens. Maybe she even encourages you in the beginning. But as time goes on, you start to feel a shift. Every time you try to improve yourself, whether it's advancing in your career, reading more, working out, or even just developing better habits, she resists, not openly, not aggressively, but subtly. She mocks your ambition, making jokes about how you take things too seriously. She discourages you from learning and growing, saying things like, "Why do you always have to be so intense?" Or, Why can't you just relax and enjoy life? She makes you feel guilty for focusing on your goals, claiming you're neglecting her, that you don't have time for her anymore, or that your ambitions are changing you. And she's right about one thing: your ambitions are changing you. But that's what life is about: growth, improvement, evolution. Why she wants to keep you stagnant. A toxic woman fears your success because it reminds her of her own lack of progress. The moment you start evolving, she realizes something. If you outgrow her, she loses control. If you become more disciplined, you'll start to notice her lack of discipline. If you become more ambitious, you'll start to see how little she contributes to the relationship. If you develop a stronger mindset, you'll recognize that she is holding you back, and that terrifies her. Rather than growing with you, she would rather pull you back down to her level, because as long as you stay stagnant, she doesn't have to change. So she starts sabotaging you. She tries to make you feel guilty for working late. She dismisses your goals as unrealistic or unnecessary. She starts arguments whenever you're focused on something productive, just to distract you. Because if she can't rise to your level, she'll do everything in her power to make sure you don't rise either. The Stoic perspective: growth is a man's duty. The Stoics believe that self-improvement is not an option, it's a duty. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic leaders, believed that the purpose of life is to become the best version of yourself, to constantly refine your mind, body, and character. But a woman who fears growth is a threat to that purpose, because every time you try to evolve, she will try to clip your wings. Not because she doesn't love you, but because your success exposes her weaknesses. She sees your improvement as a reminder of everything she is not, and instead of rising with you, she chooses to resent you. Why this is a deal breaker? A relationship should be a partnership, a bond where two people inspire each other to be better. But when one person refuses to grow, the relationship becomes a cage. Every conversation about the future turns into an argument. Every step forward feels like a battle against her resistance. Every moment spent working on yourself feels like a betrayal in her eyes. That's not love. That's a slow death of your potential. Breaking free, choose growth over stagnation. If you are with a woman who fears your growth, you only have two choices: stay stagnant with her, outgrow her, and move on. And here's the truth: the greatest tragedy in a man's life is sacrificing his potential for a woman who fears change. You can love her, but you can't force her to evolve. You can support her, but you can't make her see her own potential. You can offer to grow together, but if she refuses, then she is choosing to stay behind. And the harsh reality: if she won't grow with you, she will hold you back. The right woman will support your evolution. A woman who truly values you will push you to be better, not because she's afraid of losing you, but because she wants to grow alongside you. She will celebrate your ambition, not mock it. She will encourage your progress, not resent it. She will strive to improve herself rather than holding you back. If she does the opposite, you already know what to do. Ask yourself, does she support your growth, or does she try to slow you down? Does she push you forward, or does she try to keep you where she feels comfortable? Is she inspiring you to be better, or is she afraid of what your success means for her? If she fears your growth, she fears your potential. And if she fears your potential, she will never truly support you. Let go of anything that holds you back. Walk away from anyone who resists your evolution, because a man's purpose is not to remain in the same place. It's to evolve, improve, and become the strongest version of himself. Choose growth, choose freedom, choose yourself. Now you have the knowledge, the power to recognize the signs before they destroy your peace, your confidence, and your future. For too long, men have been conditioned to tolerate toxicity, to believe that love means sacrifice, even when that sacrifice means losing themselves in the process. But today, you have seen the truth. The wrong woman won't just waste your time. She will steal your potential. She will fill your life with drama, leaving you emotionally exhausted. She will refuse responsibility, making you carry the weight of her failures. She will value materialism over character, seeing you as a provider rather than a partner. She will manipulate your emotions, trapping you in a cycle of guilt and confusion. She will obsess over social validation, prioritizing the opinions of strangers over the respect of her own man. And worst of all, she will fear your growth, trying to keep you small, weak, and dependent. But that's not your path. Your peace, your purpose, your success, these are non-negotiable. A high-value man understands that his greatest assets are his peace of mind, his ambitions, and his self-respect. If a woman disrupts your peace, she is not for you. If a woman sabotages your success, she is not for you. If a woman sees you as a resource, not a man, she is not for you. The right woman will nurture your growth, not sabotage it. She will encourage you. She will respect you. She will build with you, not against you. The final question: will you choose growth? You now stand at a crossroads. You can ignore these warnings, convince yourself that you can fix her, and spend years trapped in a relationship that drains you. Or you can make the choice that every great man makes, the choice to protect yourself, to walk away from toxicity, and to pursue the life you were meant to have. If this message resonated with you, if you see the truth in these words, then do this now. Drop a comment: I choose growth. Like and share this video to help other men escape the traps of toxic relationships. Subscribe, because this is just the beginning of your journey towards strength, wisdom, and power. Remember, a man who sees the signs is a man who controls his destiny. Your future is shaped by the choices you make today. Will you choose growth, clarity, and strength? If so, drop "I choose growth" in the comments. Subscribe for more insights and take control of your destiny.